Alright, here we go. We're on to my other bookshelf. It's a 3-tier bookshelf. And this row right here is the top row. It's my female repellent section, as I like to call it, because it's the majority of the Star Wars books I own that I haven't lent out to people and never got back. Let's start over here with Children of the Jedi by Barbara Hambly. Then we got Dark Forces Rising by Timothy Zahn, which is upside down. Let me just fix that really quick. That's a pet peeve of mine. Then we got The Truce of Bakura by Kathy Myers. And if you want to read the Star Wars novels and you want to start after Return of the Jedi, Truce of Bakura is the first one you should read. And then from there you can figure out the order on your own. Then we got The Crystal Star by Vonda McIntyre. Then we got Star Wars Secrets of the Jedi. And earlier I mentioned an uncle of mine who gave me Ink Spell. Or is it Ink Heart? No, it's Ink Spell. He gave me Ink Spell. He also gave me that book as well. And I have yet to read it. Then we got the Star Wars Omnibus of the X-Wing Rogue Squadron. And that's before the Rogue Squadron series. And these are actually out of order, so I'm going to fix that really quick. You can tell I put great effort into putting this back together. Whoa. Sorry about that. It's very inconsiderate of me. Next we got the Rogue Squadron series, books 1 through 3, 6, 9. Books 1 through 9. The first one being X-Wing Rogue Squadron. The last one being X-Wing Starfighters of Adumar. And the X-Wing series is probably my favorite series of books because they're very well written and they're very entertaining, and I would just read them one right after the other. And next we got the, I believe this is the Champions of the Force. Oh, it's the Jedi Academy series. The third book is Champions of the Force by Kevin J. Anderson. First one is Jedi Search. The second book is Dark Apprentice, and the third book is Champions of the Force. Then we got I, Jedi by Michael A. Stackpole. Then we got Darksaber by Kevin J. Anderson. We got Splinter of the Mind's Eye by Alan Dean Foster. The Last Command by Timothy Zahn. The Han Solo Adventures. And then Assault at Salonia. Then Planet of Twilight, which has nothing to do with the book series by Stephanie Myers. Thank the maker for that one. Because I don't want to read a book about Twilight set in the Star Wars universe. That would be terrible. Then we got The Paradise Snare, which is one of the books in the Han Solo trilogy that's not part of the Han Solo's adventures. Anyways, then last at the end there we got Tales of Jabba's Palace. Underneath that we have the Star Wars cross section, and that just gives you a look at all the Star Wars vehicles and what's inside of them. And then here we got another copy of The Truce of Bakura, which I'm giving to a friend. Alright, let's go to the middle row here. We got Germany, 1871 to 1945. That's a book I'd read for school, which most of these books are books I've had to read for school. Then we got Holler If You Hear Me by Gregory Michi. Against Common Sense, Teaching and Learning Towards Social Justice. Major Problems in American Sports History, which is actually a really, interesting read. It goes back as far as, bare knuckle boxing and, harness racing and how American sports have developed. Then after that we got The Problems in American History, Volume 1, and then we got Major Problems in American History, 1920 to 1945. Then here we got the 2002 Wrestling Almanac and Book of Facts. Then here we got a Asimov's Science Fiction Magazine. Then here we got Down and Out in the Great Depression, Letters from the Forgotten Man, which is actually a really interesting read. And here we got Girls for Sale. It's a play about colonial India by Gurjata Aparayo. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm really sorry. Then we got The Manly Art. It's about bare knuckle prize fighting in America by Elliot Gorn. We got More Than Just a Game, Sports in American Life since 1945, and this is also a very interesting read. We got here Rhetorical Grammar, Grammatical Choices, Rhetorical Effects, and it's just pure boredom in a book, so avoid it at all costs. We got Title IX by Susan Ware. It's for those of you who don't know what Title IX is, it's a title or a document or an amendment giving women athletes more rights than they had in the past, and almost making it more equal for women athletics in college and I believe in high school as well. Baseball's Great Experiment by Jackie Robinson and His Legacy by Jules Teigel, and that's actually a very interesting read. If you're not a baseball fan, you'd still probably have an interest in it. A Concise History of Modern India, the second edition, by Barbara Metcalf and Thomas Metcalf. And then next we have, I'm not going to pull that book out, but the book is called Position of the Day Playbook, and it's kind of sexual, so if you're under 18, you probably shouldn't read it. Next we got Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, also called Walt Whitman's I'm Gonna Bore the Hell Out of You. I'm just kidding. There's some Walt Whitman I enjoy in Leaves of Grass, and then most of it I'm just completely stumped on. Then we got Ian Rankin's Watchmen. And then we got my Goosebump books, which are in order, but I don't have them all, but I still have them from when I was little, so that's pretty cool. Then here we got Our America by Lee Allen Jones and Lloyd Newman with Dave Assay, and it's about the south side of Chicago and what the city is like there, and it's actually, there's a murder that takes place during the documentation, and then the focus shifts onto the murder and what led up to it and what led after it. And then we got Poetry, a pocket anthology. This is the 7th edition, and look how thick this book is. That is not a pocket anthology. Just saying. Then we got Sam Swope's I Am a Pencil. And here we have Fontaine's novel Effie Bryce, and also known as the Snooze-a-thon, because it was so boring I didn't even finish it. Here we got The Mind's Eye, a guide to writing poetry. And then we have here Running Black by P. Todorov, and this is actually an incomplete novel. It's kind of an edition they give to publishers and editors, and my friend gave it to me for free. And then at the end we have The Worst Book of All Time, Hope Leslie, and I read it for school and it was really boring, and it's by Catherine Maria Sedgwick, so don't read that because it's boring. Just watch the movie Pocahontas, and it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, let's go to the last row, the very last shelf. Alright, this is the very bottom row, and this is kind of a, it's kind of my, it's a mishmash of books. Books that are kind of, not even books, there's magazines and stuff in here too, so let's see what's in here. Starting at the bottom, the Element Encyclopedia of 500 Spells, Triumph of the American Nation, which is a book I had for my senior year in class, for senior year history, and it's really funny because it says Triumph of the American Nation. Then I crossed out the word triumph and put downfall because I thought anarchy was cool when I was 15 years old, I guess. Then we got Consumer Education and Economics, which is another book I had from high school. Then we got Glad to Meet You, and that's a book I had from 2nd grade. This book right here is Classic Readings in Sociology, and that's actually a really interesting read. Then we got Homosexuality by Richard E. Dunbar, which was taken from the Antioch Elemental Media area and given to me. I don't know how I got it. Oh, I know how I got it, but I don't know how they got it. Then we got Makers of Modern India there, this book here. And then we got the Spoon River Poetry Review, Volume 36. Okay, then we got Comet Bus 490, or Comet Bus 49. We got some stuff there. That's not even a book, so I'm not going to get to that. Baseball's Great Dynasties, the Cubs. I wouldn't really say the Cubs are a dynasty, but, they're one of the great franchises in baseball history and possibly sports history. Then we got Sports Illustrated's Greatest Teams, Dragon Quest VII Strategy Guide. Then we got Beatlemania Volume 1. The Chicago Bulls. What is this? The Chicago Bulls Tip-Off, which is a review, or not a review, a program from a Bulls game. The 1996-97 program of the Chicago Bulls. The official Star Wars 20th Anniversary Commemorative Magazine. The Alien vs. Predator Strategy Guide for the PC. Pro Wrestling Illustrated's 2002 edition of Women Wrestling. Educational Psychology, that's a book I had to read for school. Then we got in here, this book here is called Inside Out. It's a book I had to read for school as well. Teaching by Design, another book I had to read for school. Blending Genre and Altering Style, another book for school. Writing with Passion, another book I had to read for school. Cubs Celebrating the 1984 Chicago Cubs. We have a copy of the play Lysistrata. Plato's The Allegory of the Cave from the Republic. And The Life of Nero, which are printouts that I had for school. Then we got here the Myths of Greek and Rome. Then we got The Clash, the biography. I really recommend reading this because it's humongous. It's got great pictures and a lot of great information. And then we got the Lost Encyclopedia, the Marvel Encyclopedia, the Star Wars Encyclopedia that came out before the new version of the updated version of the encyclopedia. So me and my friend Austin jokingly call this encyclopedia the Old Testament. Then we got the Star Wars Essentials, the Essential Guide to Chronology, which is this red one. The orange one is the Vehicles and Vessels, and then the blue one's the Guide to Characters. And then here we have the J.R.R. Tolkien's Illustrated Encyclopedia. And then we have Wizardology, the Secrets of Merlin. And if you can find this I actually found this at the Goodwill for like a quarter, but it's actually really cool. It's got like a lot of pop out stuff, and it's got like a lot of like really interactive stuff in this book. So if you can find it, I recommend checking it out. It's actually really interesting. And then at the end here we have The Making of Star Wars, the definitive story behind the original film. And I haven't read all of this, but I've read a lot of bits and pieces of it, and it's actually really interesting, and it shows how much goes into making the movie and how much of the movie that was changed to make the film. And it's actually really cool, so I recommend checking that out as well from what I've read from it anyways. So yeah, there you go. There's all of my books in my bookshelves.